Yes, Vivek, we will be continue the next slide.
Thank you, Priyanshu. Now, I am Vivek Kishore and I will explain the instruction pipelining. So, here the numbers of instructions are pipelined and the execution of current instruction is overlapped by the execution of the subsequent instructions. And it is also called as the instruction look ahead, and this type of technique is used to increase the throughput of the computer system. Next slide. Now let's try to understand the pipeline conflicts. So there are some factors that cause the pipeline to deviate its normal performance, and some of these factors are timing variations, data hazards, branching interrupts, and data dependency. So in timing variations, all stages cannot take same amount of time. This problem generally occurs in instruction processing, where different instructions have different operand requirements and thus different time. In the data hazard, when several instructions are in partial execution and if they reference some data, then the problem arises. So we must ensure that next instruction does not attempt to access data before the current instruction, because this will lead to incorrect results. In the branching, in order to fetch and execute the next instruction, we must know what that instruction is. And if the present instruction is a conditional branch and its result will lead us to the next instruction, then the next instruction may not be known until the current one is processed. And in the interrupts set unwanted instruction into the instruction stream, and hence interrupts affect the execution of instruction. In the case of data dependency, it arises when an instruction depends upon the result of a previous instruction, but this result is not yet available. So it was all about the conflicts that are some of the factors which cause pipeline to deviate from its normal performance. And now my team member Rishabh will continue from the next slide.
Thank you, Vivek. Following are the advantages of the pipelining. The mainly major advantage is performance improvement. By pipelining instructions, you are able to pump in more instruction, and so you get a significant improvement in processor speed. This happens because you are able to execute parts of instruction in parallel to parts of other instructions. Consider the case when you are trying to execute three instructions, each of cycle length 3. In the case of pipeline execution, you will be able to get them all done in 5 cycles. If you are executing them without pipelining, it will take you 9 CPU cycles to complete all of them. And it allows multiple instructions to be executed concurrently, and in every clock cycle, a new instruction finishes its execution. Next slide. The pipeline architecture, mainly the pipeline has two major disadvantages. First is its complexity, and second is the inability to constantly run the pipeline at full speed. For example, the pipeline stalls. Let us check why the pipeline cannot run at highest speed. There are phenomena called pipeline hazards, which disturb the smooth execution of the pipeline, and as a result, delays in the pipeline flow called bubbles. These pipeline hazards include following, like data hazards arising from data dependencies, structural hazards from hardware conflicts, and control hazards that come out from instruction jump, branch, and other control flow changes. And like these two issues can successfully deal with, but avoiding the detecting the hazards leads to a considerable increase in hardware complexity. That is the major disadvantage of this pipelining. Next slide. Now, here is the conclusion of our study on pipeline. We got to know about the main concept behind pipelining, the arithmetic and the instruction pipelining. Now we are fully cleared with our concept of how pipelining allows multiple instructions to be executed concurrently. And now we came across some factors that cause the pipeline to deviate from its normal performance. Next slide. These are the bibliography of our presentation. We use studytonight.com, allopress.com, and mindreturns.com. And then next slide. Thank you, ma'am. This was our presentation from our side.